As someone who's had his fair share of movings, mentality difficulties, and ethnic clashes in the family, I very strongly believe that the complexity of multicultural families is a very difficult thing to tackle in any audiovisual form, let alone a 1.5-hour feature. Of course, I can't possibly speak for any expat family but mine, and I most definitely cannot compare my frankly very privileged position to the experience of Chinese American families. Yet, somehow Lulu Wang's The Farewell manages to capture that unique charm of being stuck inside your own strangely cosmopolitan identity, all the while unfolding a universally congenial story that is both profoundly sad and endearingly hilarious. The film is a true account of Wang's experiences with her family and follows her, or Billy as she's called in the script, after she receives the news that her grandmother Nai Nai has been diagnosed with terminal lung cancer and has only 3 months left to live. Ironically, that isn't even the most tragic fact. Due to a Chinese tradition, cancer patients don't always receive the news from hospitals or their families and are left in the dark up until their very death. So, using her cousin's fake wedding as a ploy to visit the grandmother, Billy and her parents travel to China to bid Nai Nai farewell. Let me just say this right off the bat. The Farewell is a remarkable work for a multitude of reasons, but one that has to be mentioned at the forefront of this review is that Lulu Wang managed to direct this entirely personal, incredibly heartfelt film with a fully Chinese-American cast and around 80% of the dialogue being in Mandarin. For a crowd-pleasing, PG-rated film like this, and hopefully A24 give it a decently sized domestic release, this truly is a breakthrough in indie cinema. Of course, we had Crazy Rich Asians last year, but that film had the backing of Warner Brothers and a somewhat established book fanbase, so the quality of that comparison is 0 to none. If you're watching this video when The Farewell is already out in your country, please show your support. It's an extraordinary film. Okay, now that I'm done with publicity, let's talk about why The Farewell's bleak subject matter is so bemusedly delightful in the context of our grim everyday reality. At the heart of it, we have a timeless elegy that's wrapped in this darkly comedic package of cultural traditions, identity confusion, and moving authenticity. The Farewell walks on that thin line between comedy and tragedy. There's a scene here during which a congratulatory speech turns into what essentially is a eulogy. A person breaks down crying, the camera slowly pans out to reveal the confused audience, and the only thing left for us, the viewers, is to laugh while trying to suppress that overwhelming sense of sorrow. The genuineness of the constructed narrative and the way she presents it is what truly makes Lulu Wang's sophomore efforts stand out. She mentioned during the Q&A that she was slightly inspired by the works of Roy Andersson and Ruben Östlund, but honestly, I would argue that in the melancholic, satirical works of those directors, there is always a conspicuous sense of detachment, which is a stark contrast with Wang's direct openness with the viewer. She's ready to be vulnerable in front of the audience while sharing a chapter in her book of life. And I think that's a rare occurrence in modern, non-documentary cinema. In a way, it kind of reminded me of the late Agnes Varda and her approach to storytelling. So effortlessly assured, yet delicate and wise. In the films about tight-knit relatives and family values, it's always crucial for the entire production to be as invested in the script as your writers and your directors, because otherwise the work would just lose its distinctive sense of identity, and that is usually what the films of that kind of subject matter go for. Thankfully, that is not the case with The Farewell, because the ensemble cast and the crew pulled off something miraculous here, and I mean truly, truly remarkable. You not only believe the seemingly preposterous for the Western society story, but you also feel through every emotion that the character Billy, played by Awkwafina, goes through. It's a vividly spiritual experience that not only says a lot about one's relationship with their family, but also with themselves, and it is truly enhanced by Awkwafina's remarkably tender performance. She goes through so many emotional states throughout the film. It's very impressive to see what she did here. It was surprising to see her tackle such an emotionally challenging role, but she proved to be much more than just a quirky character that Hollywood tried to pitch her as. Admittedly, she does have great comedic timing, but she also has a very impressive dramatic range that I hope to see more of in the coming years. Lulu Wang mentioned that the casting process was a very important aspect of her film and that she fought many years with many producers who did not want to fund a fully Asian cast feature. Clearly, after seeing the film, I cannot possibly imagine a different outcome. I think that when I was watching the film, it almost felt like every single character and the actor blended in together. It feels like they lived through their respective roles, and I think one of them actually did. The Nai sister in the film was played by Wang's great aunt, so it is a family feature, really, in every sense of the word. Wang's attention to detail is also evident in the film's visual and musical choices. Grays and blues dominate the film's color palette, reflecting the characters' emotional states, occasionally breaking into the hopeful orange and greens during the dream sequences. That roaring, borderline amusing sadness is further intensified by Alex Weston's outstanding score that only amplifies the mournful ambience of a wedding bouquet and the perplexing laughter that follows. It's a scrupulously detailed film that makes me wonder how come this is just Wang's second feature. A less skilled director would have definitely gone for more flatulent pathos or emotional manipulation or maybe even visual exuberance, yet what Wang achieves here is so muted yet so effective, and the emotional qualities of the film reach their apogee only at the very, very end of the film with that beautiful final shot. Now, I know that I can't be entirely objective in the case of this film. The portrayal of a character struggling with cultural identity and belonging is something that hits very close to home. I come from a multicultural family. My family members are scattered all across the world. And right now I live in the UK, a country where I have no relatives whatsoever. So the question, where is my home, arises practically on a daily basis. Yet, underneath all of that, there is a very, very special film, and the one that will resonate with anyone. It's a love letter to every single person in our lives who keeps us going, who keeps us pushing through, and ultimately, isn't that the most important connection? Thank you for watching the review. I know I haven't been the most reliable content creator lately, and because of that, I would like you to go check out the videos from the people who actually still have a somewhat stable schedule. First one is Dion from the channel That Movie Guy UK. He does very insightful reviews on European cinema, Asian cinema, American indies, mixes it up with more mainstream stuff. Really unique and fascinating film taste. And he's still one of the, if not the only person on this godforsaken website who reviews French films, so huge thanks to him for that. And another person is Luke Hearfield, who actually also did a video on The Farewell, which I would like you to go check out right now. He put it very eloquently. He did a very detailed review of The Farewell, which emotionally resonated with me a lot. And he has a very interesting and unique channel on YouTube here because he reviews both like festival films, and the next day he can review your next Disney live action remake. So yeah, go check both of those channels out. I will link them both in the description. And again, thank you so much for still supporting me, for watching my videos. Hope you have a great summer, watch many amazing films, and I'll see you next time. Bye.